Hey folks, Doug Blake with Body Design University. In today's video, I am going to talk to you about the leg press and why it's a no-go exercise. I know I'm going to hurt people's feelings, but it's really important that you understand why doing the leg press is not only potentially problematic, but quite honestly, has been the cause of more lumbar vertebrae or intervertebral disc herniations probably than any other exercise. And so I want to kind of go over a couple of things that will help you to understand why. Now, look, if you are a personal trainer and you are training like in a small group scenario, you probably aren't going to use the leg press anyway. Well, good. At least you're not tempted to use it. If you are in a big box gym and you are a one-on-one trainer, just as a for instance, or, and here's a problem, believe it or not, in today's day and age, I know a lot of trainers that do online training and they write programs for their clients. I would hope that on the program, do not have leg press on there, especially if you're asking somebody to do it on their own. That's a problem. So you've got trainers that aren't going to use leg press machines anyway. They're too big. And if you're training 5 people, you don't have 5 leg presses. So that's good. But if you're a one-on-one trainer in a big box gym and you obviously have access to any of these leg press machines, please don't do a leg press. First of all, it's unnecessary. You have squats. Just keep doing more squats. You've got leg extensions. You've got hack squats, right? Hack squats are a really good exercise. And I'm going to explain to you why the hack squat is good with squats, but not the leg press. Okay. So don't do these. If you are an online trainer and you're writing programs for people and you're just saying, hey, on your leg day, here, do 3 sets of squats, 3 sets, 10 repetitions, leg presses, blah, blah. No. Let me explain to you why. There's a couple of reasons. And the first one is that just biomechanically, it's a really bad exercise on both your knees and your LPHC, or what we call your lumbopelvic hip complex. It's because of the fact that the leg press is what's known as an open kinetic chain movement, meaning that the feet move while the torso is stationary. This allows for a very high load to be used on the exercise. It actually becomes counterproductive because you got such a high load, puts a tremendous amount of stress. Yeah, I guess you could say good stress on the muscles of the quads and your hams and your glutes, right? And the entire pelvic area, right? Your trunk under a tremendous amount of stress. The problem is because it's an open kinetic chain movement where the feet move, the forces and the stresses on those joints, both the knee and the LPHC, I guess you kind of combine that entire complex. Because of this incredibly high load that you can use on a leg press, it puts an undue level of stress on the stabilizing elements and components, particularly at the lumbopelvic hip complex. Ultimately, that gets transferred into the lumbar spine. I will tell you this, you talk to any orthopedic surgeon, particularly those that deal with athletes and weightlifters, you will find that one of the main or primary reasons people have herniations in their lumbar spine, intervertebral disc herniations, is due directly to leg presses. Now, I'm not saying that is, but that would be the acute cause, is that they did the movement, they get to a 3rd, 4th, 5th rep and whap, they get a herniation. And then they go to the doctor, they take the x-ray. What were you doing? Well, I was training legs. But invariably, and I've seen it very specifically, and I've had orthopedic surgeons tell me, oh no, this was clearly due to those type of movements that are able to hold heavy loads, leg press, and allowing the pelvis to go through a posterior tilt under these heavy loaded conditions. Remember, leg presses involve, because of the biomechanics, it's almost impossible not to both flex the hip and flex the spinal column, particularly that lumbar spine. So when the pelvis posteriorly tilts as the feet come down, your hips come off the pad. That's where all the stress then is being placed on the erector spinae muscular complex, as well as all of the intrinsic stabilizers within the spinal column itself, and whap, you get a herniation. So I mean, just from a safety perspective, that's a huge issue. And by the way, can you do them correctly? Sure, but you now have to limit the range of motion to where you're effectively moving the sled down a little bit, backing up to where you're simply not going to be able to put enough stress on the effective musculature that you want to stress, which is your quads and your glutes and your muscles of your trunk. So because now you've limited your range of motion to make the biomechanics safe, you have now basically eliminated the ability to impose the necessary load on the muscle. Well, this is why, ladies and gentlemen, we have the squat. Okay. So don't be so concerned about trying to do 5, 6 different exercises for your quads. The leg press is clearly inherently dangerous. But again, you could do it correctly, meaning safer. But by doing it safer, you now have to limit your range of motion to where it's no longer effective to impose the necessary loads on your quads, right? So you can only go down a little bit so you don't get that posterior pelvic tilting. Squats, on the other hand, are a great exercise. They are a closed kinetic chain, meaning the feet are stable and the body moves up and down. That's why hack squats are good. Hack squats simulate the squat, and because they are a closed kinetic chain movement, the biomechanics of the movement, as long as the weights are not insanely heavy, mimic a squat and allow for appropriate movement patterns, right? I.e., range of motion depth, for instance. Still can't go down all the way till you get that pelvic tilt, but it allows an extended range of motion that is still effectively safe. Just keep in mind, you've got to do all of these exercises safely, which means you got to understand basic biomechanics. And we teach all this at Body Design University. And the best way to learn is by doing it. Just check out our 2-week live course. And the best way to do that is to click on the link. By the way, if this made sense to you, I know some of you are saying, I don't care. I'm doing leg presses anyway. Okay, good for you. Do whatever you want to do, but don't do it with your clients, please, because this is a potential issue. It is inherently unsafe to do this. I don't care what type of weight you use. Okay, just keep that in mind. Again, it's the science that tells us this, not me. Don't look at me. Talk to your friendly neighborhood orthopedic surgeon, or somebody that sees the end result. What happens when you get an acute herniation due to an exercise like that? If you understand this, type in the word understand, go into the box where I got all this written material, and there's a link in there, right? bodydesignu.com. Check us out. By the way, go to our Facebook group, get in there and see what we have going on as far as exam questions and other material to help you to become qualified and certified as a personal fitness trainer. Every Wednesday night, just so you know, every Wednesday night, we do a Quizlet live study, and it's 30 minutes, 6 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And you'll find the link to that in your student portal. Just let us know how we can be of assistance. As always, have a great week, and we'll see you next week.